The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on This Morning on ITV,
we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television. This Morning on ITV, TMI. Join us.
While certain activities could happen and it could generate issues, it could elicit reactions, comments, argument from the public. And that's exactly where we are in respect of what transpired on the National Elective Convention of the People's Democratic Party at Eagle Square, Abuja. And this took place on the 9th of December, over the weekend. And we'll be bringing that report by Al-Hassan Bala. And we'll do justice to that as we will be having discussant. I have with me from the People's Democratic Party, a member of the PDP, Barrister Ogbegie Daniel. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you for having me today.
And of course, I have Neville Obakedo of the APC. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. Good morning, viewers at home.
Right. So we'll be taking the report from Al-Hassan Bala on the convention that took place on the 9th of December at the Eagle Square.
That was how voting commenced at the PDP National Elective Convention, which held at the famous Eagle Square in Abuja. 34 states and the FCT have officially participated, with the exception of Osun and Anambra State, due to their lingering intra-party crisis. In less than 2 hours, voting ended and sorting began in earnest. There was, however, a moment of darkness which lasted for about 10 minutes due to power outage. When the sorting ended, counting begins with the Office of Deputy National Youth Leader.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The Office of National Chairman and Secretary were the last on the list. Former acting chairman of the party, Uche Secondus, was announced the winner of the chairmanship position. He pulled 2,000 votes, while his close rival, Professor Tunde Adeniran, get 230 votes, and Chief Raymond Dopesi had 66 votes.
Prince Uche Secondus scored a total vote of 2,000. High Chief Raymond Dopesi scored a total vote of 66. Professor Tunde Adeniran scored 231. And Professor Taide Odedije scored no vote.
Shortly after that announcement, Secondus was sworn in as the new national chairman of the party. Speaking after his swearing in, the new national chairman promised to reform the party and reconcile all aggrieved party members.
I assure you that all necessary steps will be taken to avoid a repeat of our past mistakes. Indeed, we have learned our lessons, and by this convention, we are now set to forge a new path for our great party and Nigeria. Under my watch, internal democracy will be strictly adhered to, with deliberate policy to return real power to the people. No more imposition, no more impunity. Every member of this party can from this moment consider himself or herself an equal shareholder in our common destiny.
With the announcement of all the results, one thing was obvious. Only those that were on the Rivers State Governor's Unity list emerged winners in different positions. With the emergence of Uche Secondus as the new chairman of People's Democratic Party, the question that many would ask is, will it be the end of crisis rocking the party or a fresh crisis? Meanwhile, only 2 women were among the new NWC of the People's Democratic Party, despite amendment made to the constitution to accommodate more women. Al-Hassan Bala, ITV News, Abuja.
Thank you, Al-Hassan Bala, for that report. That was what really transpired on the 9th of December, last week, Saturday. But the big question here, Daniel Ogbegie, would you see the process that brought Prince Uche Secondus to becoming the national party chairman of the PDP as a fair process?
Of course. It was free and absolutely fair. You know, the procedure was properly followed. The law was followed. The constitution of the PDP was followed. The constitution of Nigeria was followed. No law was broken. And Uche Secondus, whether you agree or not, because it's a contest. When you have a contest of about 9 aspirants, you will apparently have people you will prefer. So in the PDP, there were other aspirants that some party members and party leaders preferred. But at the end of the day, Uche Secondus became what you would call a consensus nominee or candidate of the party for the chairmanship, because he scored about 85% of the total vote cast. So when you score up to 85% of the total vote cast, that means the party spoke unanimously that at this time the party needed an experienced party man. He has been in the party right from 1998 to date. In 1979, at the age of about 24, he was the youth leader of the MPN in Rivers State. He has had a history of political party administration and management all through his life. He was the public secretary of the SDP in Rivers State in 1993. Then he joined the PDP. He was the state chairman of PDP for about 8 years in Rivers State. Then he became the organizing secretary of the PDP at the national level. Then later, the deputy national chairman of the PDP, and now the chairman. So he has followed through the process. He has graduated. He started from the very beginning, and he has graduated, and he has reached the crescendo of political party administration. So that kind of person, you will say that he has experience. As somebody was saying in your last segment, that it seems that the PDP is ready for 2019, and everything they are doing, the plans and everything, is geared towards 2019. And I can see that. Initially, personally, I felt that the chairmanship of the PDP should have been microzoned to the Southwest, because I felt we should allow everybody to be part of it. But I saw reasons later, because when some of my leaders here and elsewhere, they explained certain things to me, and I saw reasons with them. Was it not possible that you were cajoled to believe that? No, not cajoled. Because if you look at what transpired in the convention, where there was a unity list, and could that not be as a way of guiding the delegates, telling them who and what line of person to choose? No, does that really, was that necessary? Of course it was necessary. Because in a way, it seemed to sideline those from the Southwest. No, it did not. Now, in a contest, you have various blocks among those who are contesting, or in a political party, or in any political arrangement. So you have various blocks. So the blocks, they are going to do everything to be able to talk to people, to believe in their vision, or to believe in their candidate. So people were allowed, you can have a list that you circulate, please, oh, these are my candidates, so these are our candidates, vote for this person. No other person was precluded from circulating a list. Even in developed democracies, like in the US, in the UK, they draw some of these lists because you have various blocks, even within their political party system. So they will have people that they will canvass for. We want this person as organizing secretary because we've seen that this person can. You know, the new publicity secretary of the PDP, for you to know that the list they are talking about was actually well thought out. The new publicity secretary, less than 24 hours that he was sworn in as the national publicity secretary of the PDP, he wrote a stinker to destroy what the press statement issued by the national publicity secretary of the APC. And since then, they've not been able to reply him. When I read it, I was impressed. I said, oh, the man was an editor of a huge national newspaper, and he also had experience in being a chief image maker of a former Senate president. So, you see, in this new PDP, we have people who have passion for the party, people who have shown loyalty over the years for the party, people who have reached the height of their, of their career, whether in politics or in their professional lives. So whether there was a list or there was no list, the list was probably to guide people, to tell them, look, these are the people that we decided on. And nobody was forced, nobody was compelled that if you are not going to follow this list, you will not be allowed to vote.
Okay, let me pause you there. Neville Obakedo, you are a voice, you are a scholar in the field of political science, and looking at what transpired in that convention, the aspect of having a unity list, does it really establish something that we can say and hold as being democratic?
Well, in a democracy, people use every means at their disposal to market their candidate and to influence the electorate, the delegates in this case, to vote their own candidate who will represent their interest in the party and the larger interest of the society when the party captures political power. So I am of the opinion and of the view that there is nothing wrong for any person or power brokers within the PDP to circulate any list. All the candidates and their sponsors were also at liberty to also circulate lists and influence candidates to vote in line with the names of the persons or candidates that are listed in their list. Their inability to do so and not crying foul after delegates on their own volition elected the National Working Committee of the PDP now goes to no issue. That's the way I see it.
All right.
Number two.
Before you go to number two,
yeah.
Do you realize that this aspect tends to sideline the Southwest candidates? Do you agree with that?
I've been reading on the pages of newspapers that the Southwest was punished by the leadership of PDP because it was the Southwest that made former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to lose the 2015 presidential election. I do not want to agree with those that have that opinion. The foundation for losing the election, 2015 election, was laid by those who were helping former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to run PDP and to run the affairs of this country. Number one of them is the present governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike came to political limelight through the assistance of former Governor Amechi, and later he may have been involved in politics before that time. When I say came to limelight through him, during 1999, there was a governor, Governor Peter Odili, and Nyesom Wike was local government chairman of Obiakpo. I've read about all that happened when he was chairman in terms of toutism and using naked force to extract resources and revenue from people.
Okay.
Then later he became chief of staff to Governor Amechi, and later he was nominated for a ministerial position. He later became Minister of State for Education and acted as a full minister for a long time before he now came to become the governor. Now, we also know how the government of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan deployed state apparatus and federal might, which led to crisis in Rivers State and the death of many persons, preparatory to the 2015 election, and even post-election crisis that followed. Now, we have seen now that the same Wike is the one that led this issue of a national unity list of the PDP. And I read before the convention that President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was saying himself and Babangida they were supporting Professor Tunde Adeniro as chairman of PDP from Southwest. And that
as their consensus
yes,
candidate.
as their candidate. They wanted him to be even people like this former MAMSA director, Professor Jerry Kana, they were all rallied around Tunde Adeniro. But before the convention, we read that Wike and others and the other governors, they are saying that they were going to use the Paris Club money that will be released to them by the federal government to ensure that they hijack the machinery of the party. They will determine who becomes the chairman or who becomes who occupies any elected position within the National Working Committee, because some of them are coming back as a second tenure governor and they want to get ticket at all costs, and the rest of them.
Okay, drive your points home.
So, what I'm trying to say is that in politics, we have a permanent interest. We don't have permanent enemies. The same Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, who supported Wike to the last, has now seen the other side of Wike. What he did to Amechi, he has done to President Goodluck.
Okay.
And other persons.
Outside the unity list, can you also give us your opinion on alleged irregularities? Do you see anything like that?
Talking about irregularities in that
convention.
In that convention.
As alleged.
As alleged. Because I also watched part of including the announcement of the result. The total accredited delegates for that election were 2,233 delegates. The total number of vote cast was 2,297. You see that the vote cast is more than the accredited candidates. For example, the chairman, Secondus, he was said to have put 2,000 votes. Adeniro, 231 votes. Raymond Okpesi, 66 votes. That brings the total number of votes to 2,297. If you now subtract the re-accredited number of voters or delegates, which is 2,233, you have a difference of 259. Where did that one come from? There was overvoting in that election. It shows that there was manipulation. And your reporter from Abuja, what is that his name again?
Alhassan Bala.
Alhassan Bala, when he was reporting this convention, he said light went off at Eagle Square for about 10 minutes before light was restored. I have the belief that it was when that light went off that the manipulation took place. So that is, by the way, it is now left for those who contested the election to now approach the court and call for adjudication.
Okay, but before you go on,
yes.
Would you want any? You have any reaction on that? Because I see you are smiling.
But you know
so
does
it support what he said?
Somebody said something. Somebody said this is a PDP pregnancy, but APC morning sickness. You know, when a woman is pregnant, they sometimes have morning sickness. It's PDP pregnancy. No, the APC people, they've spoken about the PDP convention much more than even PDP people. And these same APC people, they said before that the PDP was dead and buried in Nigeria.
Okay, but the figures he just said now.
Wait, I'm coming.
Okay, I want to comment on that.
The same PDP that you said was dead and buried, you are still talking about the same PDP. The APC machinery, the chairman of APC has spoken about the PDP convention. The National Public Secretary of APC is still talking about the PDP convention. Whereas the APC has not had a convention in contravention of their own constitution.
I know you are. I know you are a.
But the PDP.
I know you are a legal practitioner.
Yes, but the PDP.
Are you trying to dodge from that question?
I'm not dodging.
I want you to react to what he said when he said that from the figures he presented that there is overvoting.
I want to lay a proper foundation for you to know that all these things that APC sponsor media are bringing out, they are just figment of their own imagination. For instance, when you said there was power outage for about 10 minutes, everybody knows that even in Aso Rock, you have power outages on a daily basis. We've had situations where in this country, the president of the country was addressing foreigners and there was power outage. So how can you now say on the basis of the power outage, there were manipulations? When it was clear, because my friend here said that there was a unity list and he agreed with that unity list. So on the basis of that unity list, Chief Uche Secondus emerged as chairman of the party, overwhelmingly, 85%. So there was no contest.
You've not
there
answered the question about
the
figures.
No, I'm coming. There was no reason whatsoever to manipulate to add. He said there was an extra 200 and something votes.
259.
Yeah, but somebody got 2,000 votes. Another one got 200 and something votes. Another one got 66 votes. So what is now the reason for somebody that got 2,000 votes to not try and add 200 and something votes to his vote? There was no reason. So there was nothing like that. There was nothing like, because the figures he's just bringing out, he's bringing it out from where he read it from. And it was from the nation. It was the nation that belongs to Tinubu, who is one of the leaders of APC, that brought it out. So there was nothing like that.
Okay.
There's no discrepancy.
So to you, the figures are manipulated.
Yeah, correct. Yes. Because
kind
even those that contested with him, if it was true, Chief Raymond Dokpesi has sent a congratulatory message to Uche Secondus and all the other winners in the convention. The only Benga Daniels has sent a congratulatory message. Even the other person that was supposed to contest for the position of National Police Secretary, who was a minister in Jonathan's government, he was angry initially that he was excluded for some technical reasons.
Yes.
But Jonathan had a meeting with him yesterday, and he said his faith in the party has been restored, that he's energized more than ever before.
Okay.
To make sure the PDP gets the mandate of Nigerians for 2019.
I'll come back to you.
Yes.
Let's get back to
those figures.
Because is it not also possible that these figures you just presented could be figures that should be subject to proper analytical study, and this is not a platform to do that? What do you have to say?
I think.
Because in the first place, you didn't quote your source.
Yeah, no source.
So will it not be expedient to do that?
Yeah, it is from the nation.
I thank
the mouthpiece of the APC.
I thank Ogbege Esquire. He is a lawyer, and from 2011 to date, I've had cases in 6 courts. So I'm used to the verbose language that lawyers use to defend their counsel. So I'm not surprised the way he's talking. But if Esquire, Ogbege Esquire, said he watched the program, assuming without considering that he watched the convention and watched the announcement of this result, he will not be asking me for source of this information, because this was something that was televised worldwide.
For the source.
Yes. So I'm saying now, assuming without considering, you're asking me for the source. What was televised worldwide, you will see the result being announced. If you check the internet now, you will see the video of this result being announced on the internet, whether NTA, whether Channel Television, whether AIT. You can still play it as we are sitting on this live studio now and see the result. So the result was not manufactured by me. It's a result that is in the public domain. But let me come back to issue of electoral governance, because my co-discussant is a lawyer. In law and in governance, democratic governance cuts across political governance, cut across electoral governance, cut across social governance, environmental governance, spiritual governance, or moral governance. And now, in all of this, let me take electoral governance as a point of departure. In electoral governance, there's what we call rule making. When you are making the law, that has to do with timetable, that has to do with the number of zones to be represented in the ESCO, the party, their manifesto, their constitution. This has to do with the law that governs the process. There's what we call the rule application, which is the program proper, which is election proper, which is convention proper, which is primaries proper. And we have what we call rule adjudication. That is where the issue of lawyers defending people in court comes in. Okay. At the outcome of every electoral process, like this convention, people can head for the court and begin to say, okay, this election was manipulated, like I just said just now, bringing out the facts of what happened.
All right, let's move forward.
Now, by way of moving forward, we made mention of Dokpesi congratulating, what do you call it?
The Prince Uche Secondus.
And others that were elected, including Benga, in politics. And that is where I am an expert. He is an expert in law, I'm an expert in politics. In politics, when you see people congratulating the persons that have won election, even when they have described that process as a fundamentally flawed process. They are setting the tone for inclusion in the agenda of the people that have won. They are setting the tone for politics of inclusion. They are setting an agenda for the party that, oh, even though I did not win, even though you were the person who won and you emerged through a manipulated process, you also know that I contested, so you have to involve me in the things that will be happening during your administration.
Thank you, Nebula.
So that is exactly what that was exactly what
okay, thank you. Let's move to another dimension as we as a parting shot for this segment. The aspect where there has been this impression for years now, almost 2 decades, where we now see politicians porting from one party to another. And it has been abused, most especially by some politicians who we can recount the stories of how they have dumped a party and come back to the party for the 4th and 5th time. Yes. What does it tell? Does it show a right leadership that political parties are really trying to give to the nation, or the otherwise?
I will speak on this in 2 folds. First of all, there are those who genuinely change parties. You have to understand that our constitution allows freedom of association and freedom of movement. So this encapsulates change, moving from one party to the other when you feel that your interests are no more met in your original party. So there are those who genuinely do that. For instance, I remember in 2006 to 2007, when Obasanjo wanted to take full control of the PDP, he excluded some PDP members. He deregistered them. So, and they didn't have a choice than to join the emerging party, some of AC at that time.
But was he right?
Yes, it was right, because they were excluded from the PDP, their original party. They were not registered, so that means they were no more members. And should they have quit politics at that time? No, it was not possible. Some of them were still young, they had a career in politics. So they went to another political party that was emerging, and as it turned out in Edo State, that political party was declared a winner by the tribunal and the Court of Appeal. That is on one hand. But there are also those who do not have scruples, who they are like any government in power. Any party that is in position of power or authority, they move to that party. Once that party is outside power, they move to this one again. We remember in 2015, after it was announced that Goodluck Jonathan lost the election, a lot of people in Edo State, they moved to the other party.
Okay, does it not make a mess?
Some of them,
does it not make a mess of democracy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even at the party level, looking at internal democracy.
Because, yes, that's what I'm saying. Until we have internal democracy properly founded in the political party system in Nigeria,
because at present we don't have.
We are going to have problems with our democracy.
Most especially when the political parties do not have an ideological base.
That's why. No,
do you agree?
Our political parties, they have ideology, but the problem is the implementation of the ideology.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it is just a problem.
Okay, thank you. Yes. I take that as your parting shot. Let's look at this aspect in respect of how we can ensure that political parties meet up in terms of standing in the gap, representing the nation in terms of producing right leadership the way forward.
When we talk about democratic governance, we are talking about a system where we have multi-partyism, where the people can have a choice between the political parties of who determine who will lead them, the party that will lead them at a particular period of that nation's existence. In that democratic governance order, we also have what we call an impartial umpire. In Nigeria case, what we call the Independent National Electoral Commission. And in democratic governance, we're also supposed to have a very viral, vibrant civil society, and pressure groups as the case may be. But in the context of electoral government, the political party is supposed to have ideology. When we say ideology, whether the party is going to pursue capitalism, whether the party is going to pursue socialism, whether the party is going to pursue...
It should be spelled out.
Yeah, welfareism.
Yes.
It should be spelled out in their manifesto.
Okay.
Should be spelled, and how they are going to achieve
which at present
that is missing.
That
is missing in Nigeria.
Cutting across all political parties,
Nigeria
including the party of which you are a member.
Nigeria political parties, they do not have ideology. If they have ideology, they should specify it. And what is an ideology? An ideology is a set of belief system of how the state should be ordered and the modus operandi of ordering that state.
Okay, can it also be said that the parties, political parties have programs, manifestos?
Yeah, they have programs.
That they implement
programs
when
are
in
different.
power.
Programs are different from ideology. Programs are just, these are the things I'm going to do. I will tie road. I will build pipe-borne water. I will create employment.
But do they fulfill those promises?
In some cases, the system and the environment will not allow them to fulfill these promises.
You. Well, so much has been said, and we would have loved to go further. Thanks to Daniel Ogbege, a legal practitioner. Thanks for coming. And of course, Neville Obakedo, a scholar in political science.
Thank you
for coming. Well, this where we round off